Can you really exchange Iraqi dinar or Vietnamese dong in the US in 2025? Here's the real answer. Many currency investors continue to ask the same pressing question in 2025. Can you exchange Iraqi dinar, IQD, or Vietnamese dong, VND, at a bank in the United States? Despite persistent rumors and speculative videos circulating online, the truth remains more nuanced than many expect. This article cuts through the noise to provide a clear, updated answer based on real facts, not fantasy. Why you may have faced confusion at the bank. If you've recently walked into a bank hoping to exchange Iraqi dinar or Vietnamese dong, chances are you were met with hesitation or a flat-out no. This reaction isn't unusual. Most US banks do not handle exotic currencies like Iraqi dinars or Vietnamese dong on a regular basis. These are not globally dominant or frequently traded currencies, and they're typically excluded from the services that American banks routinely offer. That doesn't mean exchanging them is impossible. It just means the process is less accessible and requires the right approach. The situation in 2025, what has changed? As of mid-2025, there has been no official revaluation RV of the Iraqi dinar or Vietnamese dong. Both Iraq and Vietnam continue to maintain relatively stable exchange rates without significant upward shifts in their currency values. While speculation remains high among currency holders, there is no credible confirmation from either country's central bank suggesting that a major rate adjustment has occurred. Still, demand for both currencies has led some financial institutions in the US to take modest steps to accommodate requests. Some banks have quietly updated internal policies, trained staff, or expanded partnerships with third-party currency processors. Can you exchange Iraqi dinars or Vietnamese dong at US banks? The answer is yes, but with specific limitations. Most major banks like JP Chase, Bank of America, or Wells Fargo do not offer direct over-the-counter exchanges for IQD or VND. These currencies fall into the exotic category, and most branches lack the infrastructure to handle them. However, there are exceptions. Certain regional banks and credit unions may provide exchange services for exotic currencies. Some larger banks may process these exchanges through trusted third-party partners. In most cases, you'll need to be a customer and meet specific identification or compliance requirements. Exchanges typically involve submitting your currency for verification and waiting several days for a deposit or mailed check in US dollars. What to expect when attempting an exchange? If you decide to pursue a legitimate exchange, you'll need to take several steps to improve your chances. 1. Call ahead. Never assume your local branch can handle IQD or VND. Contact them directly and ask whether they deal with exotic currencies, what the process entails, and what documentation is required. 2. Prepare documents. You'll need government-issued identification. If you're exchanging a significant amount, be ready to explain the source of the funds and possibly provide receipts or background information. 3. Be patient. If a bank works with a third-party processor, the exchange process can take anywhere from a few business days to over a week. 4. Ask about fees. Service fees and exchange margins can vary widely. Ask for the exact amount you will receive after deductions. Why do US banks avoid these currencies? The short answer is regulation and risk. The United States enforces strict anti-money laundering, AML, and Know Your Customer, KYC, laws. When a customer attempts to exchange exotic currencies like the Iraqi dinar or Vietnamese dong, banks are required to conduct enhanced due diligence. This involves identifying the source of the funds and ensuring the transaction complies with federal regulations. Additionally, exotic currencies are more volatile and less liquid in global markets, making them a financial risk for institutions. As a result, many banks simply avoid dealing with them. Alternatives to bank exchanges. If your bank cannot or will not exchange your Iraqi dinars or Vietnamese dong, there are alternatives. Online currency exchange services. Several reputable online platforms specialize in exotic currencies. These companies will request that you send your notes through insured, trackable mail. After authentication, they issue payment via check or electronic transfer. Be cautious when using any service online. Look for companies registered with the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, and rated by the Better Business Bureau. Currency brokers and dealers. Licensed currency dealers may also assist with the exchange. These professionals often have better access to global markets and more experience handling exotic currencies. Make sure any dealer you work with is registered and provides full transparency about their exchange rates, processing times, and fees. Watch out for scams and false promises. Guaranteed rates of $3 or more per dinar or dong VIP redemption appointments. These claims are not backed by any verifiable information from the U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve, or foreign central banks. If someone promises a high-value exchange rate without proof, it's almost certainly a scam. Real revaluations or currency events will be covered by mainstream financial media and announced by central authorities. They will not be hidden in private chat groups or online forums. Protecting your investment. If you currently hold Iraqi dinars or Vietnamese dong, here are a few steps to secure your currency and prepare for a future exchange. Store safely. Keep the notes in a dry, secure location, ideally in protective sleeves to prevent damage. Avoid public transactions. Do not exchange currency with strangers or unverified buyers in person. Use insured mail. If sending currency to a third-party service, always use insured, trackable shipping options. Verify currency condition. Damaged or excessively worn notes may be rejected by banks or exchange services. Tax implications. The IRS considers currency exchanges involving capital gains to be taxable events. If you purchased IQD or VND at a lower exchange rate and later sold it for a profit, you may owe taxes on the gain. Keep accurate records of purchase date and cost, sale date and amount received, exchange rate used. Consult a tax advisor familiar with foreign currency investments to ensure full compliance. Is it still worth holding dinar or dong? The decision to hold IQD or VND depends on your financial goals and your understanding of the risks involved. There is no guaranteed revaluation in sight. However, if you consider this a long-term speculative investment and accept the possibility of no major changes, holding the currency isn't necessarily a mistake. Continue to monitor economic indicators, central bank activity, and geopolitical developments in both Iraq and Vietnam. These factors are far more reliable than internet rumors when it comes to predicting any future changes in currency valuation. Final thoughts. Stay smart and stay informed. While it is technically possible to exchange Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong in the US in 2025, the process is not straightforward. Most banks do not handle these currencies, and those that do often work with third-party vendors. You'll need to make calls, ask questions, and follow strict procedures. Avoid sensational claims and do not assume that a major revaluation is guaranteed or imminent. Focus on credible information and verified financial sources. Most importantly, protect your investment through proper documentation and secure storage. If a revaluation occurs, it will be announced by official financial institutions and covered by mainstream news outlets, not through anonymous online messages. To stay up to date on all developments related to the Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong, and other exotic currencies, follow trusted news channels and verify everything you hear. Would you like a YouTube video description or thumbnail title based on this article? I can also prepare a short version for your community tab.